Here we go, module 2, getting into the thick of things here. Guys, I'm very excited for you. I'm looking through all this and I remember the hard times and the things that I've gone through. And there's a lot of things on here that the course cost, even the $900 one that I'll be selling eventually, is worth what you're going to learn right here in this thing. Each one of these is something that pays off big time, but I've made so many mistakes along the way. I want you to know that I go through this pretty fast and it seems oversimplified, but I'm cutting this down to the bones for you so you do all the things that you need to do and you don't waste time on things that you don't need to do. Like, for instance, I don't have a website on here yet. You can operate your business without a website. I've done it for 5 years. Now, I am shifting into selling online, shipping frozen stuff and spices, and we're about to fire one off, but you don't need one right now. Man, I am excited for you. I want you to be successful. I want you guys to do the homework that you need to do. I just created this between filming the last one and the other one in Miro. I don't know how to do all that, but let's get right to it, okay? The very first thing I need you to do, you're going to have some homework this week in Module 2, is their concept. What are you going to cook that's better than anyone else in your town? What's it going to be? Right now, if you're the kind of person that thinks you're going to take frozen Sam's patties out of the freezer, put them on the griddle, and sell hamburgers, I want you to leave right now. I don't even want you to follow my course because I don't want to be associated with you. Where my truck is parked right now is at a location where somebody else failed, and that's what he did. He was a bigwig that threw a bunch of money in his trailer. He was there half the time. He had a freezer full of Sam's patties and hamburger and French fries out of there. Of course, I prefer a frozen French fry way better. That's later on in a more advanced course, but boy, this pisses people off. I prefer a frozen fry that's been, it's a long process. But anyway, I prefer frozen fries over hand-cut fries any day. They just don't seem to hold up. But hey, if you like fresh cut fries, it's okay. We don't have to fight about it, all right? But I just want you to know that if you're not going to try to do things that are wow and just a few different small menu items, then you're going down the wrong course. You know, I've made some TikTok videos with these big long menus, and they kill me. So right off the bat, I want you to know that if you're going to do sliders, I want them to knock the socks off of people. If you're going to do hamburgers, I want it to be the best fresh hamburger that they're going to find for 100 miles. If you're going to do tacos, I want them made right there, fresh, the best you can do. That or you're wasting your time, okay? You're wasting your time. Next thing I want to talk about right here under concept still is I'm going to be teaching you that there's 4 different businesses and they're all 4 independent and they have nothing to do with each other. You just heard me complain about frozen patties and frozen this and frozen that. When I go to festivals and some of those $20,000 weekends that I'm going to be teaching you about, that's exactly what I do. But my business name and my business logo, you don't even see any of that. It's covered by signs because we are at a festival. So one of the specialty things that we do is a pastor machine with tacos where we shave them off fresh with a hand-pressed flour tortilla, cilantro, and onions and blow your socks off. But do you think I can get the volume out of that window at a festival to make money, to make $20,000 and do that? I can't. So guys, I want you to understand that roadside is one thing. It is perfect. It's perfectly executed. It wows people. It leads them to want you to do their office parties, your caterings and things like that. And then your catering business is something different. We're going to be setting that up. We're probably not going to do much in catering in this $49 course, but we're going to do a lot in the next course. But, you know, this course is going to get to where you're going to make some money, and I'm going to teach you in the next module how to start doing some small parties around to start getting you some money coming in, all right? And then festivals. I have a large festival this weekend. We do empanadas, and we hand make our empanadas, and I'm going to throw in this course my little secret about my signage for my menus and my posters and things like that, I just run over to Canva, I make them, and then I send them to Walgreens and I pick them up. Today they had it ready in 30 minutes, and I have a old schooler, one of my mentors who got me in this business. He for what I did today for $14, he would get charged about 60 and have to wait a week or so for someone to print it. So things are coming along. Here we go. I needed you to know those 4 pieces before we get ahead of ourselves. All right, my story. Tacos Pastor, I just told you about that. Genuine. How I knew my mentor that does that, he's the one that has $15,000 days and $20,000 days, and his is straight frozen to send out, and those are festivals, and I wanted you to know that. But I started off this business doing the pastor machine with the flour tortilla pressed or the corn tortilla pressed, whichever one, and onions and cilantro and that pastor meat. We were using pork. We still use pork. We use Boston butt, and we layer it and we marinate it all night and we brine it. Don't let me forget, just in case I don't say later, you brine every meat you have except ground beef. You can't brine it. And look up what brining is. Don't waste my time by selling products that you don't brine. You brine it, get all the nasties out, and then it sucks all of that nasty stuff out that they inject it with or whatever. And then you put your own marinade in and let it sit and all that. I'm telling you right now, that's one of the trade secrets is brining your meats. All right. So back to where, don't let me get off of rambling. Tacos Pastor was genuine. It's awesome. It was great. We'd have lines of 100 people for hours at a time, but we almost went broke because we couldn't get the volume out. And another thing, I had this idea in my head that that's all we needed to do was make this amazing thing. It did okay at festivals, but we would make, at big festivals, we would make maybe $800 in a day, and I would work my ass off. I almost pass out standing over that pastor machine, shaving that meat off and doing this, and my wife the same way. And we found out that at festivals, we don't have to kill ourselves, and I want to make that $15,000. But to blend into our roadside, we were doing that, and I was going to stay traditional. See, I traveled all over Mexico to learn how to do this, to do the pastor machine and onion, cilantro, the pastor the right way. And that's what we were doing. We were doing it strictly traditional. People would come up and say, oh, man, I want some cheese, man. And I'd be like, cheese? Cheese on a taco? Are you kidding me? All right. And then they'd order ground beef taco. Are you kidding me? Get out of, move on. No, we're not selling. People almost went broke trying to stick to traditional. Number one, people that are in the public do not know what they're talking about when they want you to do this and do that. They'll make you go broke listening to people. But there's a flip side to that. You do have to listen to your customers. I refused to listen to them for a little while. And then I started adding the cheese. Then I started adding more flour tortillas. Now we sell 8-to-1. We'll sell 2 corn tortilla tacos compared to 8 flour tortilla tacos. And we have the cheese. And guess what one of our top selling tacos is? Ground beef. Hurts my soul that I'm selling ground beef tacos. But I am taking the meat just like you hamburger guys. I'm taking very fresh meat. I make it fresh right then, go it together, but we do it. So we do have to be kind of flexible on your roadside because we want to give the customers what they want, but we don't want to let them break the bank. Like I do not sell steak on the side of the road. I don't. Unless I find a big steak special somewhere, I'll do it. I'd have to sell a taco for $5 to get the revenue in and my markup in that I get off of the chicken. All right. What is going to be your style? Latin, Asian, American? You're going to be a drink truck, dessert truck? I need you to get your concept down. Wow me with a couple of things that you're doing to do great. Early on, I came to our very first trailer, man. We paid $2,500 for that thing, and I was still working on it. But we would drag it to do little events here and drag it to do little events there. And my wife was outside. My wife cleans like you wouldn't. She just everything's got to be perfect. People that say that cleanliness can't keep away flies don't know what they're talking about, man. we had an open trailer there that didn't have screens or anything, and a fly was scared to come in there because everything was bleached down and washed and cleaned, and it unbelievable. But anyway, she was cleaning one afternoon, and I came and I was messing with the airbags on the deal, and she was throwing cans of that yellow cheese out. And I was like, what are you doing? She says, I'm not serving this crap anymore. This is not cheese. So we were doing the cheese nachos like you get at your crappy ass concession stand place. And then from then on, she started buying the expensive block cheese, the white queso. And I mean, it's good. It's not just the stuff, it's better than restaurant stuff. Now we're coming full circle, and we are actually kind of known for the white queso truck. You get white queso nachos with us with any kind of meat that we're making that day. You get 2 tacos. Our main staple is 2 tacos with some chips with that white queso splashed on it, or we put it in a little cup so it doesn't, get the chips soggy. It's okay to start with something in a concept and be ready to be flexible where you are. I would probably go broke with my taco truck in an authentic place in Texas, South Texas. You never know. Look at Taco Bell. Came from one of the most successful restaurants in California. The guy just did the crispy taco, ground beef, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, and nobody else around was making that. So find your niche, be awesome, okay? Give me a concept. That's going to be one of your homeworks this week. All right, that's going to be the end of lesson 1 in module number 2. Guys, get excited about your concept. It's one of your homeworks for the week.